Good morning and welcome to Frontiers of Knowledge segment of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. Recently, at the just concluded World Economic Forum, Geneva, Davos, the famous annual Jamboree was held. And one of the items discussed very passionately was Government of India's decision to constitute medical education and medical profession. Another reconstitute, restructure. Already they had a ministry called Ayush, which is a combination of the allopathic, traditional Unani, Siddha, and Ayurveda. And this was being criticized by a number of people at Davos. And tongue in my cheek, as sometime in my vicarious player, I asked them, well, you are criticizing Ayurveda being treated at par with allopathy. What's wrong with it? After health is, in a sense, of synonym for integration, it refers to the totality and whether or not a system is in harmony or in discord. And there are time-honored medical practices like Unani, for example. Unani is a Greek system, Tibetan, Chinese, and Indian is Ayurveda. They are rooted in holism, while allopathic system is stated in symptomatic relief. Agreed that the modern advances have made allopathic much more reliable, but then it doesn't treat the body as a whole. It treats one symptom, then the other, and the medication given often has so many side effects. And while Ayurveda, like Unani, like Chinese, like Tibetan, like Incas, Mexican system, are rooted in holism, treating individual systems in relation to the larger system that connects us. That's a nature. It is basically illuminates the dynamism of a personal microcosm. And this concept of treating body as a part of personal microcosm within the macrocosm. And how does it do it? By using fundamental principles rooted in nature. So this is basically bringing human beings and treating them at par with other aspects of the cosmos. As I said, it's microcosm within macrocosm. Now, in my Pakistan, I asked them, well, you know the spellings of Ayurveda, but do you know the meaning of Ayurveda? There was a dumb silence and there were some sniggers. They forgot that the origin of this ancient science, Indian science, is best elucidated by the roots of the word itself. Ayur means life. Veda means science, the science of life. So it captures the understanding that we as human beings are in fact expression of life in totality. It's founded on the principle, on the belief that the pure consciousness animates all life and offers a subjective knowledge by which and all the existence generate and regenerate. This regeneration, revitalization is something which is specific to the Oriental system, whether they're Chinese or Tibetan or Indian is immaterial. So by evoking the consciousness of underlying intelligence of the elements, we may understand the quality of our own equilibrium. And what does the Ayurveda do? It helps us manage the integrity of forces within and without by teaching us how to listen for the rhythms in nature. Now, listen to the rhythms in nature brings you out of your disease self in the health-giving nature. Now, when the gaseous composition of the stars is out of balance, for example, I'm just giving it, what happens when the gaseous composition goes out of balance? The stars explode into a brilliant supernova, and that scatters new light. And the bits and the pieces of the stars spontaneously gather to create everything in the material universe, including us. So, according to the Ayurvedic principle, we are universe contained a microcosm made up of star stuff. More specifically, five elements. Now, they are not elements if you go by the exact modern science exactly, but they were deemed to be elements. And what are they? Space, air, water. No, air is not an element, it's a mixture. Water is a compound. Fire, earth. All these are unique states of homogeneity within each of us. And what are the diseases? Diseases is according to Ayurveda, are the tendency of one or more elements to be governing force and by definition in dysfunction. So when one or two more of these elements which govern the human body goes out of function or is dysfunctioning, then we are ill, diseased. So there are three such tendencies. They call them doshas. Dosh is a defect. They are vata, pitta and kapha. They define our constitution. What is vata? It's the combination of air and space. Pitta is combination of fire and water. Kapha of water and earth. Now each defect, each dosha is different balance of five elements and oral dynamic. Today you can suffer from one, tomorrow it will be different. And third day you can be perfectly upright. So each dosha is a different imbalanced state of the five elements. And as I said, they are dynamic. So according to Vedic principle, it's impossible to cultivate a state of fixed balance when the elements and nature are all in flux. So if the whole nature is changing, it changes the law of nature. How can your body not undergo a change? So disease when it comes, when the defect is there, then it would always be rectified by putting things in balance. So Vedic principle, which governs Ayurveda, contends very clearly that our capacity to regenerate depends on how well we adapt and nurture balance amid that flux. And that's why Ayurveda doctors devote generous time to investigating a patient's conditions, medical history, physical system, all in relation to the environment. And that helps them to diagnose, reduce, pacify, and rebalance or restore the positive cells. Now this aspect is often forgotten. Here, as I said, in allopathic, and I'm not against allopathic, it's a great science, and I always go to allopathic, but that doesn't mean that Ayurveda is something bad. Now, Ayurveda teaches us very clearly that there is dynamic evolution of elements with the passing of each season, and that we are like nature. We experience a myriad of constitutions in accordance with the rhythm of environment. Spring brings promise of wet, earthy meditation as melting snow feeds rivers, which volatilize into fog and rain. Heavy cold liquids combine with softness in spring to make us feel the weight. Cohesion and anabolic experience, that's kapha. Summer offers a humid sticky bloom layered with sharp fiery heat, and warmer months call for a mobile, metabolic, transformic energy that we associate with pitta. Autumn rises a nature way of conserving energy. Fallen leaves paint the earth's cold, dry floor with scattered colors, and we experience the mobile, catabolic connecting energy of vata. Then comes winter, and winter by itself is again something out of the ordinary. This is a question of regeneration because you are going into a state of dormancy. Earth contains both vata and kapha. Altogether, space, air, water, They design our constitution in chorus with the symphonic song of the earth. Therefore, achieving the state of equilibrium within our microcosm is required for our well-being. And that's what Ayurveda tends to do, tries to do. I fully agree that today the modern surgery, for example, Ayurveda doesn't have that capability. At one time it was number one. If you remember, surgery had been practiced in India long back. Of course, it didn't have those diagnostic instruments which we have today. But then, why cannot what Government of India is doing combine the two? You see, the principles empowering us to make choices that sustain and nourish the body, mind and the spirit are very simple. For example, Abhyanga is oil massage. Kavla, oil pulling, and now the doctors, the dentists tell me that oil pulling is extremely important for your teeth, for your digestion. Tongue scraping and then sattvic eating. All those who desire can do so. This Panchkarma. Now what is Panchkarma? Is in Ayurveda. We go by Panchkarma. Panchkarma is a powerful, achievable way for us to restore balance. Five punch is five. Karma is action. So Panchkarma offers a comprehensive, complete way. And it is what? It is integrative detoxification of body, mind and consciousness. Now, can you see in any other system, of course, Tibetan has the same system, that they detoxify not only the body but also the mind and consciousness. There is Yamuna, which is emesis. There is Virincha, which is purgation. Nasya, nasopurgation. Basti, anema. And Rakta Moksha, bloodletting. No, Rakta Moksha is no longer practiced. But the remaining 4 are. And they are integrated with a herbal massage, steam bath and sattvic diet. And yet, if we say that this is not something scientific, is absolutely going against the grain. You see, what happens is that Ayurveda, like Tibetan, like Chinese, and has had like Egyptians, Unani system, Siddha system, there are about hundreds of the Oriental, Middle Eastern, African even. Those systems of treatment had their own benefit. Of course, no system is perfect. But then, it's not a question of perfect, it's a question of the most amenable system, and that's why what we need is integrated Medicare, which cannot be combined, the best of all that, and provide the patient succor in that. I remember I had a bypass surgery, 2014, and when they took the vein out of my leg, for full 1 year, the nurse would come every day, but the wound would not heal. 365 days passed, more than that. And then I was talking to a Lama from Tibet. He had come to visit me. We were discussing something. There was a message from His Holiness Dalai Lama. And it was something very serious. And then he looked at me. He says, the nurse came. So he said, what's the problem? He looked at it. And he said, look here, you have suffered 1 year. Well, you can be cured in 2 days. And I did. And what did he do? He crushed garlic cloves, 2 cloves of garlic, crushed them, put them in mustard oil, put them on fire till the garlic ones were absolutely brownish and all the essence had mixed with that mustard oil. And then he applied that mustard oil, garlic mustard oil, on the wound. He asked me to apply it 3 times a day. After 2 days, can you believe it? When the nurse came, and she was shocked. And then the doctor saw it. My God, they said, this is not possible. So my family doctor, Dr. Ayurveda, he took down this recipe, garlic and mustard oil. And he would prescribe to the other patients as well, to all the wounds. So can you believe it? The allopathic system could not cure me with all their dressing and all their antiseptic, antibacterial and what not. And just 2 days with a garlic mustard oil, and it was healed. So, but that doesn't mean that I don't like allopathic, as I said in the beginning. As a matter of fact, I believe in integration, but Ayurveda by itself is much more reliable in the sense that it enables you to have a total comprehensive treatment of your body, your mind, and your consciousness. And that way, this system is worth investigating. Thank you.